So today we'll be going through a bit of a presentation on BookEasy, what we're doing, and why we're integrating with why Sundays have chosen BookEasy. Today we'll be focused on all of the member consoles, basically. Now, we'll be covering just a general BookEasy overview of the staff console. A big part of the staff console has changed, maybe Mercedes, from what you've seen in the past. Now, we'll be covering the member console overview as well, just setting up general business information, setting up accommodation, including rooms and rates, how operators would manage rates and availability. Setting up tours, much the same, set up tours and rates and changing availability and everything that tour operators could do. Setting up events. So I don't know if you guys will be selling events through the BookEasy system, but it's definitely an option that you can do. So we can either skip that or cover it if you like. We'll go over a recap and then any further questions you might have at the end. If you do have any questions during the training, feel free to just yell out, and I'll be more than happy to answer it and just let you know if you do have any. If we're going to be covering that, or I can answer it there and then for you. So, what is Tourism Holdings? So, Chelsea, do you know what Tourism Holdings is, or BookEasy is?
No, not quite.
Yeah, that's
Alright, so Tourism Holdings is basically the overarching holding company for 4 companies that we manage and look after. So BookEasy being the number 1, we service visitor information centres and operators with a software that allows them to basically run their centres, pay out operators, set up operators, operators to have that whole distribution channel through to those 160 plus visitor centres. Res Online. So Res Online is basically a channel management system. So does everyone know about channel managers for operators? Have you heard that term thrown around before?
Some of us have, mate, but if you could give us an overview.
Yeah, definitely. So a channel manager is basically a third-party software system that operators go to and they sign up with them. Normally they charge monthly fees to operators. Now, these systems, what they can do is link to multiple online booking channels for that operator. So that we're talking about linking to BookEasy, Wotif, Booking.com, Expedia, all those sorts of sites. So they connect them all up in the one channel, which basically means they log into that channel manager to manage their rates and availability. So when they make a change in that channel manager, it will update all of the sites that they have connected. Same with rates. And when a booking is made, let's say on BookEasy, it would send back to the channel manager, and the channel manager would then automatically update, the Wotifs and Expedias or whatever channels that operator had connected.
Thank you.
Now, we'll be covering a little bit later on what channel managers connect to BookEasy for a lot of the operators, so we can go through that. Impart Media, so that's our offshoot digital agency that we have under Tourism Holdings. So we build and create websites basically for visitor information centres. Now we have a lot of products that we offer through that particular channel, such as interactive maps, trip planners, brand new custom websites, templated websites. The list goes on in regards to Impart Media, but our sole focus on that is for visitor information centre websites. Last but not least is Roam Free. So Roam Free is just a website where people go and make bookings called roamfree.com. So this has its own affiliate network that affiliates can connect to. And it's basically just a third-party channel that an operator can be listed on if they choose. So that's Tourism Holdings. The team here, so we've got about 25 staff, give or take. Oh, what was that, sorry?
No, 4945 3967. 39.
So basically we've got 25 staff here, including developers, business analysts, project managers, assistant manager, so he's always on 24/7 on call, managing, just making sure if the systems go down, he's going to get an alert and he'll be onto that straight away. Support staff, graphic designers, so we've got a search engine optimization and marketing team. That's a third-party team. They don't actually work here, but we send all that work out to them. Digital strategists, and we've got testers and trainers such as myself. Now, what you've had for Whitsundays as well, and what you're getting a third-party developer to integrate the booking gadgets onto your website, which is fine. So as a part of that, all the gadgets can be iPhone, iPad, and Android ready with the mobile template. Multi-product search gadgets we have available. So you can show things like tours and accommodation, events, car hire, and packages as well. Operator product search results gadgets. So that basically means on the operator pages, they have their own search gadget, which is what your developers will be building on the operator pages. There's a new shopping cart gadget, a new payment gadget. So there's just an updated look, essentially, from the old one. Now, the great point of here is when a user is on your website, they stay on your website through the whole booking process. They don't go off to an external website, which is going to lose SEO for you, and it just gives that sense of security to the consumer when they're going through booking and paying all on the one website. The new gadgets have been showing an increasing conversion rate. So a lot of our centres that have come on board onto the new gadgets have had really improved conversion rates due to that booking process. And there's also another great feature as well, which is the operator interactive map. So you can have a map view on your website where users can go, and they might not know the area. They just might want to know the general area that they want to stay. So a map view just allows them to see, the streets in the area. They can click to book on that, especially for accommodation. So we'll be going through BookEasy. So do you have any questions about what I've mentioned so far? No?
No, all good, no questions here.
Okay, fantastic. So we've upgraded the BookEasy member consoles for accommodation and tour members, and it's now called Room Operator. There was a lot of feedback. We didn't really have names for anything in the past, so we're using now Room Operator for all of your accommodation members, Tour Operator for all of your tour members, and they're two completely separate, different consoles, look differently, act differently, and a lot more user-friendly for the actual user. So the Room Operator console, the benefits of this, they can create daily rates, so update their rates daily and enter stop sells in per rate line. The addition of adding versatile booking questions, so they can actually add booking questions now that will show on your website when going through the checkout process. Now with those booking questions, they'll be covered more in depth during the training, so we'll come back to that. We have a seamless integration with Res Online Channel Manager, plus all the other channel managers that link to us. we have an improved layout. So previously it didn't look as good as what it should, and now we've got a better layout, more user-friendly. We also have a reservations calendar which has interactive booking, so they can see the list of bookings on a fortnight at a glance per room, so the operator knows what's coming in from the website. So this is the new look member console. So as you can, excuse me, as you can see here, you've got basically the quick links at the top that take you to do anything you need to do. You've got the icons, basically rooms and rates, reservations and reports, questions, distribution, availability, operator details, support, and we have video tutorials available as well for your operators. On the right-hand side, you've got a to-do list, so any new online bookings that they get will drop in there. Any arrivals for today, any departures for today will all be listed on the home screen when they log in. Plus, the operator has a fortnight at a glance calendar, so they can see sort of bookings that are going to be dropping in. Now, the colours over school holiday periods, so we've set all of Queensland school holiday periods, and it basically marks them green, so the operator knows when that's sort of going to be their peak season, and will allow them to adjust their rates to reflect those seasons that they may have. They can then upgrade to a basic property management system if they wish, so this is called Room Manager. Basically, they've got their rooms on the right, and they can click on the calendar and insert bookings. Again, it's got a to-do list, and we've got quick links on the left with occupancy and revenue reports. That's Room Manager is a property management system. So for really marketed from 1 to 20 room operators. So that just allows them, they can pull house cleaning reports and just manage who's in what room, switch guests around per room and everything like that. So it's just a nice little system that they can use. Distribution now. So before I talked about Res Online and mentioned that we have integrated Res Online into BookEasy. Now in Room Operator, there's the online distribution option. So if the operator doesn't have a channel manager, what they can do is they can go to online distribution here, and they can sign up to Res Online through the system. Now that allows them to link to all of the websites on the left-hand side and they can choose to manage their rates and availability from within BookEasy, or they can log into Res Online and update it if they. So there's, I think there's about like 20 to 30 websites that Res Online currently updates. So they're all listed on the left-hand side, but we'll cover that in more detail as well. These are the channel partners that we have for accommodation operators currently. So Freeloader, so Netrooms, channelmanager.com.au, update 24/7, HighSite, Res Online, SiteMinder, Levart, Front Desk, Star, which is a New Zealand-based one. We connect to the Tourism Exchange Australia as well. RMS currently don't update us. However, they're just going through their final testing and they're due for release on Thursday. So today, actually. So that should be going live today, their connection. And we've got Arrow, which is a hotel group that have their own channel managers. So the good news is if you have any operators that are using these channel managers, they can just add us as another channel. You can set them up with an account. They can just link it up and manage their rates and availability. All that is listed on the BookEasy website as well, underneath our partners page. So you can click through to the channel managers and find out more information on what's right for operators. Next we'll be covering the tour operator console. So after accommodation we'll go through tour operators. So basically we have the ability to, again, create daily rates for tours and add stop sells for tours. Again, they can ask booking questions to their users. They can set up pickup routes to choose from. So they can set a route where they're driving to pick people up, and they can set up times when they're going to be picking up from particular spots. Again, an improved layout, and there's improved reporting for tours as well, including the tour manifests and just the reports that they can pull from the system.
Ben, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, definitely.
What, for overnight yacht charters and cruise charters, is it best to set them under room operator or the tour operator concept?
I would probably say tour operator. But again, it just depends on the package on how you want to sell them. If you'd prefer to sell room nights, you would set it up under room operator. But if you wanted to sell a multi-day tour, you could set it up under tour operator. So it's really a choice on what you want to do with that.
But it still comes out at the consumer end the same.
Yeah, that's correct. So it just means where the consumer is going to go, essentially, to find your property on the website.
Yeah, so it'll either be under accommodation or tours.
That's correct. Now you can select multiple operator types. However, when you get to the operator, if someone does a search on the website and goes straight to your operator page, it's not going to know which result to load. So that's why we prefer to set you as one bookable type rather than two. So what you would do is you just really think about which one's probably right for you based on the functionality and how you really market the business, and then you would go from there and just set up which one you felt was right. The good news is, though, if you want to change it, it's a 2-second job to change it as well, back to tours or from tours to accommodation. So this is the tour operator screen. So again, much the same vein as the room operators. They've got their daily management, so you can see your daily rates, reservations, pool reports. There's the marketing tools, which is their questions and distribution again, with support and video tutorials, and then you've got setup down the bottom. So whenever a new operator creates an account, there's a certain setup that you do at a visitor center level to create the account. But then the operator has to go through, and set up their actual tours and their rate types and everything like that. Over on the right-hand side, they've got new online bookings, and then they've got their fortnight at a glance as well. So when updating tour rates, you basically choose the month. It will default to the month that you want to update. You can update longer if you wish. You choose the tour. You'll get your rate types, and you can just click on the days and set the individual prices if you wish. Or you can choose from a certain date to another date and set a price. It's much the same for accommodation. The booking questions, this just, again, goes on the checkout process of the actual website that you're listed on, and will ask the consumer certain types of questions for information that you might need. Now, with that, what you have is you can actually set that to link to bookable product that you have within your console as well. A prime example is a National Parks Service that uses this. You need a parks pass to enter the park. So one of their questions when making a booking at a campsite is, do you have a parks pass? If they were to say no, it basically adds it to the cart automatically for them. So that's the type of information that booking questions can do. You can basically duplicate tours as well from within this screen. You can add new tours, and it just displays on a list for every tour that the operator has. And then you have your pickup routes. So you pick up from certain locations, you know, how long it takes to get between locations, and then you've got drop-off locations as well. So it's the order in which you drop off that's shown to the guest. So any further questions about the tour operator information before we continue on?
Yeah, Ben, I've just got one question.
Yep.
If an operator already has this set up through existing channel managers, is that a fair thing that they would have a similar information flowing through various channel managers, that if they've got all it set up, once they plug in through our system, our setup, that will appear, or that will be visible to the consumer?
Yes.
Or does it have to be set up?
You would still need to, for example, create the rooms and create the information inside of the BookEasy system. You wouldn't have to set up the rates and availability, though. You just set them up as a default, whether you make them all not available or all available. The operator would then just go into their channel management system. Normally, to link it up, all they do is set in their, say, BookEasy username and password, and it connects to our system, and they just map the rooms together. It's normally a combination of drop-down boxes or what have you. And then they send that, and they'll send an update to us, and then it'll be linked. But you would have to create the rooms.
Yeah.
I don't think that...
They're already locked into BookEasy, then it's a matter of just what's the next step?
So when they already have a BookEasy console?
Yeah.
Yep. So basically what we would do from that point on is give them their username and password. They can log in, make sure they've got their rooms. They would connect it up to the channel manager, and then that's it. They just continue using BookEasy as another channel, essentially.
Yeah, right.
They're going to get emailed bookings and everything like that, but realistically, they don't need to log into BookEasy. We say that they should log in at least once a day just to check their reservations, because with every single channel manager, there's no 100% guarantee that they're going to get every single booking or retrieve every single booking. So it's always just that once a day, twice a day sort of check inside of BookEasy just to make sure they haven't missed any reservations. Especially a lot of operators will rely 100% on email, which can have drastic consequences when we're talking about accommodation, essentially. So if they just log in once a day, they can check their reservations list easily. I mean, there's 99% of the time the channel manager's going to pick up every single booking, but just for, that 1% that might happen, it's good to just have that backup. So realistically, they probably won't log into BookEasy every day. They don't need to, but the option is there should they wish.
Fantastic. Thank you.
No worries. Now, a channel manager as well, just so you're aware, realistically only updates rates and availability. Some do room descriptions, others don't. So if they wish to change their room descriptions, they're going to have to log into BookEasy, and their business descriptions, so, point of difference and information just about the property, upload images, stuff like that, would all be done from within BookEasy itself. So we're going down the path with channel managers nowadays. All operators should be instantly bookable. This will provide better conversion for your Whitsundays website as well. If they can book and pay online straight away, a consumer, they'll do so roughly 60% of the time. So the challenge again is moving accommodation operators that are currently using pen and paper onto an electronic system, whether it's another third party that they connect to. There's countless out there. We just provide tools that they can use BookEasy should they wish. So that's things like the room operator console where they can, update their rates and get bookings through that source. There's the room manager option upgrade, which is basically a basic property management system, or, there's 20, 30 different property management systems that can be used by an operator. But, in 2014, it's time to do away with the pen and paper, and everything's pretty much moving online now. So it's time to get ahead of the curve, basically. Tour operators, it's a little bit more harder. We still provide, the tour operator console where they can jump in and manage all their bookings. They can upgrade to Tour Manager, which is, again, a basic tour management system. But some of them are small operations and they're out running their tours, so those ones can be hard to convert to instant confirmations, just for the fact that, they're not in front of the computer. They might only be in front of the computer, an hour or two at the day max. But we'll cover that in support and later through our trainings over the next week on how we can manage that. So again, all major channel managers and property management systems connect to BookEasy. So a majority of your clients will probably be using a channel manager or property management that connects to us anyway to manage their rates and availability. And then the challenge we have with accommodation operators, and the question is it your job as the tourism centres to train them to help your operators? So is that something that you'll be taking on?
Yeah, I can answer that question. It will be something we'll take on and hopefully work you on as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so because you're installing a brand new system, there's going to be a lot of nurturing, a lot of walking through. So we're here to help you with that and provide tips and webinars and stuff like that for your operators.
Yep, thank you.
So tour operators, so this again is where a major opportunity lies for centres. We've found that for a lot of centres, the tour side of their business is starting to take off with the inclusion of this new tour operator console. And just in general how a visitor centre works. So a lot of the visitor centres will just get walk-through traffic that are going to be, booking tours at the centre and not so much accommodation. So it's good to have that opportunity. Most of your tour operators will still work with a manual system, so again it's providing tools for them to use, which we'll be going through today. So can we, you as Whitsundays and BookEasy, be partners in providing a solution to these operators? So yes, we definitely can, and that's what we're trying to achieve. And, as I mentioned there, a majority of the tours are booked through the accommodation tour desks and booking kiosks the day before or the day of the tour. So it's just realising how that sort of market works and just implementing a process into the centre and how we can manage that. The final step here is basically this is the type of information that will be available. They can show an operator manifest if they like. They can export this to ZSV and they can email it off to their different drivers. If they have drivers or what have you, they can list individual tours. It's just going to give you a count of your tour counts and the total cost that they've pretty much earned for the day, and any information and or booking questions for each individual guest, which we'll cover more so in when we go through all of the bookings and how they are made. So that's the end of my basic presentation. We'll jump straight into the BookEasy console. So logging in, for you, the staff at Whitsundays, this is what you're going to be logging into every day. Now, you do have a visitor centre, is that correct?
Yes.
No worries. So this is what your visitor centre staff will be logging into. Now, this is basically what they're going to be doing more so is making bookings. They might know the knowledge. You've got, brochures and everything like that that guests come with. But you can basically jump to tours for a particular day, number of adults, and you can make basic bookings all through here. So that's going to go instant bookings straight to the operators. So it's as easy as that. You'll get a basic breakdown on the right-hand side of sales. Obviously, being an account that's not in use for sales is not showing anything on the right-hand side there at the moment. And you've got our help down the bottom right-hand side with a link to our Twitter feed. So we're trying to update that, almost every day. So that's where we'll be, giving hints and tips or any information about the BookEasy system will feed into the console there. But today we're going to be going through operator training. So we'll be focusing more so on the operator search at the top. Now for any members, they're not going to see this screen or the operator search screen. They are simply going to see when they logged into a console. So this is a basic operator search. So I'm just going to do a quick search for an operator. So searching for Whitsundays, you get a list of operators in here, and you can basically log in as the visitor center to that operator. However, what I'm going to do for today is I'm going to add a new operator, and we're going to set up a test operator for your console that any staff can log in and use. You can provide to any operators if you like. So who would like to take control of the computer, and we'll get you to go through, and I'll just talk about the fields and how we go about setting up an operator, but you will actually be controlling and just filling out the basic information.
Yeah, I will, mate. Daryl has it.
All right, cool. Daryl, I'll give you the control. So when setting up an operator and we go to add new operator, you need to do a search for the operator now to make sure that they already exist. So if you just type in a name there, Daryl, of an operator that you want to create, whether it's even Whitsundays test or something like that, or a Whitsundays example. Perfect. We go perform search. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to do a search of the entire BookEasy database for anyone with that sort of name. Because what you can actually do is link to already existing operators, as you can see over on the right-hand side there. On the far right, you can link operators that already exist in the system. But because we don't have a Hudson Tours, we're just going to add new operator just at the top there. Oh, sorry, it's just a little black text there. Alright, so now we just go through, and again, this is just like the general business details section of an operator console. So we go in and we set up the first names. Business name is the operator name. The next field there is just an ABN number field, whether you're GST registered or not. Then we've got 3 different email fields. So this is important for all of your operators. The general email field that you set there will be where all reservation emails go to. Yep. The manager email, again, just is another email, but will also be copied in on all reservation email correspondence. The accounts email is where all of your monthly or fortnightly returns that you run, so paying out commissions and where all of the invoices will go to from the system. Website, again, self-explanatory, it's just the operator's website address. Phone number, so it's a mandatory field. Then you've got a fax and mobile number. Now, a good feature we have for BookEasy is the SMS functionality. So you can enter in a mobile number into there, or your operators can enter in their mobile number into there if you've opted to have the SMS functionality turned on. And whenever a booking's made, they'll just get a quick text with basic information about the booking. So I think it's booking number, number of people, and the tour name. So they can put that in there and the operator will get that. We've got the postal address, town, postcode, all that information. But then we have the actual physical business location. So you'll note below, it needs to be in a specific format. So if you...
I'm on mute.
Perfect. And then if you hit refresh map, that should generate the map for you. So the next option down there, and then again, if the map isn't spot on, an operator can enter in the latitude and longitude just below the map. Now we have your operator types. So this is where you, the visitor center, will choose the operator type they fall under. So you can set up to 4 operator types for the operators themselves. Then we've got the grouping, so this is just the accommodation types that they'll fall under underneath the searches. So again, for tour operators, you won't actually be entering into this. The tour groupings, or the types of tours they come under, are done underneath the tour setup itself. So that's the grouping and settings are more so for accommodation only. Location, so these are all the locations that we have added. So again, you can set up to 4 locations for an operator. Now inside of the operator console, they will only have the option to choose 2. You at the center can choose 4 for your operators though. Alright, then what we have to do is set up a username and password for the operators. Yep, and the password. Cool. Opening hours, so they can set their business opening hours if they wish. The map reference is a legacy field, so that's just a field where you used to have the old maps where you'd be, D12 on the map. We don't really need that anymore due to the, the Google map and information that gets displayed to the user. Point of difference, so this is normally a paragraph that sits at the top of an operator's page on your website, and it's really that first headline to grab that user's attention. The next option there, business description, so that's just where they describe their business. So this is the selling point for you as an operator. So you want to go into as much detail as you can in here, but then again, you don't want 5,000 characters in there because the person will never read it all. Cool. Directions from your nearest town. So again, this is just another field that will display on the website and on the confirmation email. This uses the best judgment for your operators. So whether, how to get to from a particular spot in town is normally a popular choice. Alternatively, what some operators would do, so say on the Gold Coast, they would go from the airport, from Coolangatta Airport, or from Brisbane Airport, they would put in those two particular spots. Hot deal description, that's just the information section, free text area that would be displayed online. It doesn't actually set a bookable hot deal. It's just another free text field that can highlight deals that the operator may have. Now we have these three last fields here. So for staff eyes only.
Oh, actually.
Are they mandatory?
No, they're not. They're not mandatory at all. For staff eyes only, these are they're basically information that will display to the staff when making a booking.
Okay.
So for itinerary only, the for itinerary only section is basically what will display on the reservation confirmation email when full payment has been made only. So that might be safe details for accommodation operators, you know, the code to the safe if they're arriving after hours and information like that. Might be just as simple as a thank you message. Then the final information is just the bank details. So this again is for your operators to receive payment from you. Should you wish to download bank files and pay automatically through online banking, if that's your finance method. But again, they just enter in their bank details for their account that they're using attached to the business in there. You can then save the operator down the bottom left, and that will create the operator. Then you'll get taken to this next screen here. So this is just the update other details section screen, and this is just where we display some basic information. So whether the operator's current or not, so that basically means if they're active or not, don't show on websites. So they can be current and not shown on the website. Why that would be is they might not want, you might have a particular membership type where you don't show them on the website, but they can have bookings made for them internally.
Yeah, so I don't feel safe.
You can set different membership levels if you wish. Again, you don't have to choose membership levels. You can set different. Cool. Then you can just, put in basic information, into their certificate number if you have certificates, date joined, all that basic information you can collect should you wish. Yeah, so basically you can put in a brochure number and request new brochures. So for your operators, you just tick that, and when you hit save, an email will go out saying, can I have 54 brochures, please? Send them to, and then it will use your business address for your visitor centre. You got information, has hot deal, all that information, whether they're gold medal or confirmed. So a gold medal is an instantly confirmed booking. Then we have the option to be gold medal today as well. So if they don't allow same-day bookings to be gold medal, if I went to book today to arrive today online, it would require the operator to confirm that booking. Again, another email field that you can put there if you wish. So you can have up to 4 different email fields. Whether they want an SMS when a booking is made. So you can click that and there's a few different options. So send SMS for all bookings or send a SMS for online bookings only. Commission percentage, so 15. Then you got your iConnect percentage here. So this percentage, you're on an iConnect model currently from the old campaign that you ran. You can basically go through and set the deposit amount that will be taken at time of booking. And then it's up to the operator then to collect the rest of the payment. All right, so Tony's just walked in as well now. So,
G'day guys,
G'day, Tony.
how are you all?
Pretty well. We're tracking through this.
Yeah, Bren hasn't led you astray yet?
So far, so good.
That's good, excellent.
so then we've just got
It's good to
again.
get it underway.
Oh yeah, definitely good to get
Yeah,
it
my
underway.
word. We're going to, I might just chime in and say we're going to offer you the Facebook gadgets as well, so anyone that goes to your Facebook page can book online. And that's easily done. We don't need any development or anything like that. We can turn that around pretty quickly. So that'll just be nice for your operators to be able to be bookable straight away.
Great, mate. Thanks.
So again, the map reference field is just the older field from back in the console when we're setting up. Then we've just got a few other tick boxes for emails. So turn on guest details on emails. Basically means the operator will be showing all the guest details, including phone numbers and everything like that. Turning off the operator details on the email, so you can just turn them off if you don't want. So operator's personal information, because it will, if they set a mobile number in there, it will display that. Then we've got MU and MC emails, so these are just types of emails that we'll be going through when we go through the booking process or the booking training. So they're just various types of emails. It's basically the MC is a operator cancellation email, and the MU is an email that is basically for 24-hour operators asking them to confirm the booking. And then you can display the customer itinerary as a receipt if you wish. Once you hit save, that operator will be created. Now, if you do an operator search, if you do an operator search now, you'll be able to log into that operator. So there we go. We've got the operator there. It's got all the information. You can click on the name, it will just take you to the business details section. So if they call up once, because you manage these operators that you're the controlling mothership for, so the controlling center, you can basically reset the password from here. So that's the quickest way to do that. You can just type in a new password should you wish. But that's just the information that we went through when filling out creating an operator. Then we've got a login option here, and that will log us into the operator's console. So being that you've just had a created account here, you can just start using Tour Operator. So this is Tour Operator, and we're going to be going through, so we'll set up a Tour Operator, and then we'll jump in and we'll use an accommodation operator first. Lastly, we'll cover that. So the first thing we need to do, what we can do is we can hover over setup, and what I would be telling all operators to do is go through each individual section here. So you can go again to business details if you wish. Okay, and that's just taking us to the business details. So you're going to set up basic information. The operator would then jump into their console once you provide them with the username and password. and you scroll down, and they can set the business descriptions and change any information that may not be correct in there. So what you've got once you set up the account as well is the cancellation policy at the end of this. So they can enter in their cancellation policy, and this is one of the most important options that they will have. So they just need to jump in, and make sure that that's set. Down the bottom, for whatever reason, it's set out the latitude and longitude, have the staff name in there. We've also got star ratings and AAA record numbers, tourism accreditation and TQual accreditation, so they can tick that on and put in their numbers.
Cool.
What we've done as well, we've got just above that, once we save and it's converted them to tour operator, they've got a few other tick boxes there that they can use. So they can include extras, because they can set up extras as well in the console. They can include that in your commission. So basically, extras didn't used to be charged as commissionable items, but we noticed that some things should have been. So the option is there for the operator to tick that on. They can limit back-to-back bookings if they wish, so basically prevent bookings being added to the cart where the departure date is one is the same as the arrival date of the other. So that means that they can't book, multiple rooms that are from this date to this date and this date to this date. Again, that's just stopping. That's for group bookings at campsites more so. Display booking questions in the manifest, so they can tick that on, and they can say only send an email when fully paid. However, that's only applied for online bookings. So an email, if you made it in the centre, an email would go regardless. So do you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions about the business detail screen?
No, looks like all good.
Cool, perfect. So we can just hit, whenever changes are made, just remember to hit save at the bottom. Perfect. So the next option we're going to do, we're going to go through setup again. And we might go to rate types. We might just jump to rate types first. So automatically what will be set up is these rate types on the left-hand side there, so adult, child, group, infant, pensioner, student. They're just default rate types. Over on the right-hand side, you've got whether they're active or not. So you'll need to go in and tick all these rate types as active.
Ben, with the child rates,
Yes.
can you set the age brackets on that for each
No,
individual operator?
It's a defaulted one. What you can do is use booking questions though. So you could go, what is the age of your child, and go, 1 to 12 or whatever the age is, and then you can adjust the cost accordingly.
Okay, fantastic.
And as well, what you can do is add custom rate types. So if you go add a rate type, a new line will appear.
Okay, yep.
Yep, so if we go add a new rate type, a new line will appear here. And you can build your own one. So we notice that there's no family, as an example. So we can go, okay, well, here's a family. You can go, and that will be, so just so you know, and you can go, okay, well, this rate type is 2 adults and 2 children. And you can, there's an operator out in Alice Springs who has about 45 different rate types that he uses. So you can use it as much or as little as you like. It's just important to know that the option is there for you to create your rate types.
So if an operator selected nothing in that defaulted child drop down, it wouldn't show up?
That's correct.
It'd just show the new child age bracket that was created for the new rate type.
Yeah, well, it's just saying that a child, because you'll be able to choose different rates based on rate types as well. So if you didn't have a child and you had child 0, like child of nothing, when they went for a child, it wouldn't take any spots off the tour at all. So it's just going to be sort of an information type one.
Maybe with something in your building. Yeah.
But if we say that, you can see how we'll set rates and availability next. So if we activate, you can also make them internal only, so only if internal bookings are made. So if we save now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to set up at tours now. So if you hover over setup, we're going to go to tours and tickets. So we're going to, as this one doesn't have a new ticket, we're going to go add a new tour, ticket or event, just clicking that button. Alright, so the classification is going to be a tour and the tour name. Okay, then we've got the types. So these are the tour types that we set. And again, this is people can search by tour types. This is controlled by the center, so you can add as many tour types as you wish. At the moment, there's obviously only a default that we used in the past. So there's going to be a bit of admin that needs to be done from Whitsundays to add all these little bits of information in here. But at the moment, you can just choose which best matches. Cool. Booking deadlines, so that you can set deadlines for your tours. So bookings must be made X amount of time before each start time. Perfect. The options, so whether it's an active tour, again, you just make it inactive if it's no longer running. If you can only book internally only. If it's a gold medal instant confirmation tour, or if it's only an operator can put in bookings. So it's just giving a bit of control to your tour operators there. The requirements, so hide, pickup and drop-off instructions from the guests, or they're mandatory, so they have to fill it out. Occurrences, so this is just your tour start and end time. Okay, and you can actually link availability to other tours if you wish as well. So we don't have any other tours set up, so we may come back to that. We have the available date ranges of the tour. So we might want to remove a few, and you just set, so you can remove date range over on the right-hand side there. Yep. And remove the other one. And you might want to go, okay, well, it's available from this date to this date. Below that is the days that it's available on. So obviously you can just tick the days. If you tick all days, if it's available every day. If it's not available on a Monday, just untick it. Then we've got a capacity. So the capacity, the minimum number of seats allocations required to be sold before the ticket is confirmed, and then the maximum amount of people that can partake on this particular tour. Then what Daryl's done there is ticked on, automatically confirm this tour ticket once the minimum packs is met. So once that third person books, an email will go to those 2 other people that have booked saying your tour is now confirmed, please click here to log in and pay. The next option down from the capacity is the packs count. So do you wish to include infants in the packs count? So each tour is different. Some will, some won't. It just, the choice is there. That's the important thing. And then basically unlimited amount of people you can tick, so it doesn't matter how many people book, it's just unlimited. So that's more for like walking tour type things that I would normally do. One rate, this tour has one rate, so you can just set, no matter how many people book, it's X amount, and that's normally done for charter tours. So it just gives you a warning on what's going to happen there. And now we set up our rack rates for our types that we had. So we again need to activate them on the right hand side once we set a cost. So an adult, $100, child, perfect. So you can keep going through and setting all of that. Keeping in mind you can update daily rates for tour operators.
Cool. Ben, I can see that you've got, you're allowing dollars and cents for rates.
Yes.
For tours?
Yep.
Is that going to be the same for accommodation?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yep. So we've got some we didn't used to have it, but there's been some campsites that have come on board, and they're set by like a state government, so they're like $16.13 per night. So we needed to have that in there. Description now. So again, this is all just the information regarding this particular tour. We'll come back to routes, but you've got your contents, you've got your description box there, which is the tour description. Please bring. So again, if they need to bring anything. Cool. Internal notes, again, is just internal notes about the tour itself, so that's just if you need to set a note about the tour, or to the visitor centre if they need to see anything. You can override the cancellation policy based on tours as well, because you've got your overarching one, but this will allow you to set a different cancellation policy per tour. Then we've got campaigns, so you can actually tick the option to have a tour included in campaigns and whether it's only available. So you can go, yeah, this whatever campaign Whitsundays run, I want it to be included in it. Whitsundays, at the end of the day, have the option to tick on what operators are included. That's just allowing you to be included should they tick you on. Once you're happy with the tour there, Daryl, just click Save Changes. Done. And that's our first tour created. So it's as simple as that. What we want to do now is we want to go back into that tour. So you can go, just click on the tour name. And we want to scroll down and we want to go to the route section. So you have no active route set up, click here to set up. So if we can click that. Now we don't have any tour route set up, so we go add a new one. So you can put a name on it. So we just go, you need to put a name, so it might be airport or something. Cool, so then your first point is going to be obviously the airport. Okay, so you'd insert that pickup point. Okay, and then you do the next one. So, I don't know, it might be a hotel. So, realistically, so this is probably a good thing for, that's used for shuttle services to airports. So they go, okay, well, we pick up from the airport at this time, then we stop at this hotel, this hotel, this hotel, this hotel, this hotel. And they just go through and set up their routes. Or you can go, okay, well, I want to give this guest information, so you might go, so I pick you up from the airport, we go to the Proserpine Hotel, then we're going to the coffee plantation, we're going here, we're going there, we're going there. Perfect. And then if you're not happy, with it, so you can go, okay, well, actually, I want it in the other order. So you can just click to move things up, basically using the arrows there, and you can say, okay, well, I pick up from the airport. That's my next one, and then you can go, okay, well, the next one is 10 minutes away, so I'll go, okay, well, I'll pick it up 12 minutes later. Just so you can see sort of the times, and it's just more information more so than anything. And then you can reverse the pickup locations. So this is more an individual, this isn't something that a visitor centre will probably know too much about, like the areas that you're going, but an operator can jump in and play around with these different routes if they wish. So save changes. What we might do though is just click before we do that the reverse, because we need to set the pickup location. So just click reverse pickup locations. Go okay. Done, and it just reverses it all for you, so it's dropping it off in the same order that it's set above. We just put in dummy data in there, so we can just hit save. Oh, we just missed a field there, just the description field. Cool, and then just hit reverse pickup locations again. Okay. Done, and then save changes. Perfect. So then you can go, okay, we'll use this particular tour route in your routes if you wanted to. So that's the basic setup of a tour. Would you like to go through and set up another one, or is that pretty clear on how you'd set up a tour?
And I think that's pretty fine. Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. Set up now. So the next option, we've gone through the first four. We've got credit card and bank setups. So this is just the types of cards that the operator can take online if they wish. So if they want their address at the top of the letter, So they can just tick all this information on. So they can go, okay, well, I get these cards. You can put in some credit card text if you like. A support ID isn't used anymore. That's just legacy functionality that has to be in there because this page displays on old member consoles. Clear credit card details for fully paid bookings. Credit card information will be cleared from your console 7 days after either the departure date so the departure date of the tour or the room. So if you have the vault activated, it will be gone and it will remove it and you won't be able to access it again. So it's important to note you have 7 days to capture payments, and it should always be that they're taking, especially for accommodation, credit card imprints and photo ID anyway when a guest checks in. And then they can set up a payment gateway. This, again, for your normal tour operators that you're going to be using, will not be in use too much. It's going to be more so if they choose to upgrade to Tour Manager. So we can save that. Next option, special events. So if we go into there, again, it's just free text information. So it's just got latest news. They can put in any awards that they've won and any special events, and that will come up on the operator pages if your developers have built those fields in. Fantastic. Saving that. And then we can just keep going down that setup list, I think. So hot deals, again, it's just a free text field that was on the, this pulls from the business description field. And it's just another little box that can be inserted into the operator's page on your website if your developers are looking for that information. Again, pretty much legacy functionality, that particular option. What a lot of operators would do is set up a duplicate tour for hot deals and run it that way. Hover over setup again, and we're just going to go to upload pictures / images. Oh, sorry, yep, staff logon. So you can, tour operators and room operators should be able to set up their own individual staff logons. So you have your main login that the center will create you underneath the business details section, or you can simply add new staff logons and give your staff individual logins if they wish. Upload pictures / images. So this is, they can have a logo which will display in just a generic search on your website for operators. They've got a primary thumbnail, and the logo will display on the itineraries for tour operators. Primary thumbnail, you can click Add Image. So if we choose to click Add Image, this is going to be the main image that will display in the gadget searches. And then we've got the standard images, so you can go, you've got 6 individual images that will display on your operator web page, as well as images for individual tours and or rooms. So to upload an image, all you simply do is click the Add Image box on one of them. So you can go Add Image. It will just basically ask you to choose the file. So you just choose. Choose a basic system, basic picture here. You can save and then it will upload for you. So it's as simple as that for uploading images.
Ben, just a question. Does this pull profiles and company profiles and data from ATDW as well?
At the moment, no, but we are building that with your developers at the moment. So That's what we're having
Right.
discussions with on how we're going to be doing that. So
Okay.
yeah. So if we go back to our main menu, so we've got the main menu here. We can go to setup again. We've got now booking questions. So you can add a new set of booking questions. So you just put in a name. So because you can apply multiple sets of booking questions if you like. So it won't display anywhere. It's just more internally, this particular one. Yep. Now you can set whether it's for all products or individual tours itself. Questions asked per packs. Now you can set this. What this is used for, we've got a few clients that run diving tours. So the divers, when they're making a booking online, they have to enter in their their diving registration IDs. So that's required per packs is one of the questions they have. So you can add a new field. All right, so we're going, because you've got it selected on all packs, it's going to ask all the time if it's compulsory or not. Then you've got the question. Awesome. The type of answer so that they can give, so whether it's a text box field that they can fill out, if it's a yes or no, multiple choice, single choice, or if it's an alert, more just it just displays and they don't choose anything. The possible answers of a text box, basically there aren't any because it's a text box. The default answer, so this will be, some people would use this saying, please insert your answer here. The downside of that is it's got text in that box, so people could then just skip the booking question. So if you're going to be running compulsory or mandatory booking questions, I would leave the default answer blank. And then you can simply hit Save Changes down the bottom there, down the bottom left, and then the booking questions will be set up. So that's just a standard booking one. If we add a new one now, what we're going to do is we're going to link some product. So we might actually do a cost adjustment. So this one might be the age of, what is the age of the child, for example. So if we go add a new field, so if it's compulsory, yes. So you've got the question. Okay, so then you've got the type of answer now. So we're going to give them a multiple choice. So you might say 0 to 11 or something. Yep, under 5. If you do enter now, you need to give them a few choices on your multiple choice. So if you just enter down and to a new line on that possible answers, yep, and then you type in the new one. Cool. Perfect. So what we can do now is link actions. Okay, so we're just going to read that text there. So the following actions will be performed on the guest shopping cart if their answers match those provided below. If you selected the questions asked per PAX option, the specified actions will be applied once for each PAX. So PAX is obviously person, each person. Otherwise, the actions will be applied once per booking. So we go answers. So you might go, if they're 15 plus, so if they give an answer, so they go 15 plus, you go add an action. You might want to add a product, or you might want to go make a cost adjustment. So you might want to put the cost up, you know, from your child rate, you want to make it an adult. So you know the difference is $50, so you go, I want to put it up $50, or I want to put it up 25% the cost. So you just type the new figure into there. Message to guest, you can put that in. So your child was classed as an adult. As such, a cost adjustment has been applied, or whatever the wording tends to be. Yeah. Perfect. So then we can go link a new action again. So we could you could do it for each individual answer. Really, is what I'm trying to show here. So you might go make a cost adjustment. You might make an adjustment of 0 and say this is a child rate or what have you. Whatever the text is, each operator will have their own. It's just showing you that you can add this sort of information. Once you're happy with the booking questions, you can simply hit Save Changes. Now, if we jump back into what are the ages of the child, let's say you wanted to make a cost adjustment of negative 50. How do you think you'd go about that? Yep, spot on. That's all you do is just put a minus amount. And then you can save changes. Done. So then that will take off $50 of the cost on that particular option. So you can get as tricky as you want with the booking questions there for each operator. They're a great feature. As I said, they're on the checkout page, so a user will have to choose those particular options when going through and making a booking. The next is News Awards special events. So again, just information, really. The same as the other field, it's just a duplicate. If you go back, the last one is to upgrade to Tour Manager. So Tour Manager is a basic tour management system. It's a paid service run by Res Online, which basically gives them information. They can upgrade if they like. They get a free setup and the first month's free. And that was back from that original slide at the start showing the basic tour management system in that screenshot. So for tours as well, they've got online distribution. They can again upgrade to Tour Manager, or they have the online booking control option, which is basically, do I want to join the BookEasy distribution center network? So that's grayed out for all of your operators. Now, This is more so for your operators and your choice on how you want to manage this. So due to the previous setup of the Whitsundays account with the 74-hour sale, we obviously didn't want other centres linking to your product for that particular option. However, ticking it on when you become a normal BookEasy booking centre will allow other operators to link to your product and sell it. So operators can be linked to 150 booking centres there. We've got 165 active ones currently. That could potentially make bookings for your operators. Now that's turned off for you. We can turn that on from a support level, and when we go through the administration side of the console with just the staff, we'll cover that and the benefits and what we can do for that. However, it's definitely a possibility. Now for operators as well, when they're linked to multiple centres, they can choose which centres have access, which is down the bottom.
Okay.
So, for example, Southwest WA, strong BookEasy users, so they've got, let's say, Margaret River Visitor Information Centre, they've got Busselton, Mandurah, all these centres all around that all share operators. Now, usually what happens is one centre will be the controlling centre, what we call the mothership, where the operator goes to for support. What we've now made available is the operator on Room Tour Manager can give any visitor centre access to their console by ticking those boxes there. So Room Tour Manager is just us, it's just how the room operator function works. So if you did want that, you just basically tick the box and hit Save Changes to allow other centres access to your console. Okay, so jumping in, we've got a few other things to cover, and then we'll jump into the accommodation side. So underneath reservations calendar for me, if you hover over that option, we're going to go and just show you how easy it is to update your availability. So we can go to tour availability. So you just clicked on reservations calendar there. So this is the reservations calendar. So you can see you cannot insert bookings. That's why everything's greyed out at the moment. So if we hover over, no availability has actually been set up for this tour, it's saying. So if we go jump into tour availability here, this is the availability calendar for BookEasy, and it's much the same for accommodation as well. At the top left-hand corner there, you've just basically got the dates that you can show. So you can jump for a year, you can show individual tours, you can just skip forward if you wish. So, and then you choose search, and then it'll search it for you. There you go. You can use the previous month or next month options on the actual availability grid itself. It will just be forward a month or back a month. Then we've got the so the number of, so you've got the tour you can choose. So again, if you just want to show one tour, it will list all tours as a default. The next option we've got available here, Proserpine and Farm Gates, number of 6, so you've got 6 tours. Then we've got 3 lines. So do we have any operators on the line at the moment, like accommodation operators? Not as of yet, I don't think. Okay, so basically this is a little bit different to what they may see in the past for any accommodation operators. Usually what they do is they just set the number available in their channel manager or what have you. It's just the number of rooms that they have available. But in BookEasy, as you set, you have a certain number of spots or a certain number of rooms available. We actually have this option to close out the number of rooms you wish. So when a booking is made, availability will be dropped by the number in the bookings line. So currently there's nothing in here, but if a booking's made by Whitsundays, it will say insert a 1 into the booking line, which will basically mean that there is 5 available. So if I wanted to block out my days individually on here, all I need to do is go enter in a 6. I want to close out 6 of my rooms. On these dates, I want to close out 2 of my rooms, and I'm just hitting tab to go to the next date on my keyboard. I want to close out 1 here. I want to leave these free. So if you want to just choose some numbers there, Daryl, and go through. And then once you're happy, you just simply hit Save Changes. So it's just dropped us back to June, to the month. So there we go. So now we've blocked the days that are blocked out are black, so there's no availability. We've got 4 available as 2 are closed out, and you can just see, on the days that there's 1 available. So for accommodation operators, it's exactly the same. Updating your rooms is the same calendar. It looks exactly the same. Functions exactly the same. The trouble is with accommodation operators is majority of them are going to use a channel manager, so they're not even going to really need to jump in and update it manually. Just if they do, that is how you do it. So if you hover over the reservations calendar option, we'll go through some more fields there. So you've got that they can go to the tour manifest if they wish. You just hover. So they can go to the tour manifest. So they can go, again, we're not going to have any bookings in here, so we can't actually see, but you basically choose the operator manifest from a start date to a date. You pick the tours, and it'll give us a list of all the tours and booking notes, packs, and everything like that in this particular calendar or this particular view, which can be exported. Contacts, so whenever a booking is made for an operator, that contact will drop in into here. So that's a consumer. So they will have their own unique database of people that have booked through Whitsundays or through the BookEasy booking system, so via any other centres. And they can do a quick search if they like, and they can export that list and use that for their own email marketing campaigns. You as Whitsundays get the information stored in your console too, so you can store that info and run your own email marketing campaigns and export that information out as well. You can add a new contact. Again, it just takes you straight to the add a new contact screen. Or you can block an availability range. So before, when we're on tour availability, you go through and you go individual days, which is good for, when you want to update, 1 or 2 days here and there. It's fine to do it that way. When you're talking about 2 to 3 months, let's say it's a whale watching type of tour, they're only available for 4 months at a time max. You don't want to go through every single day going press save, press save, press save. So if you go to reservations calendar, if we hover over that and go to block availability range, you can block out days. So we can go, okay, I want to block out my days from this date. So from April 1st until this date. Cool. Which tour? So you can block out individual tours if you like, or we're just going to leave it on all. And then you can say the number of tours that you wish to block out. So you could say, okay, well, I only want to block out 3. Because they want to keep 3 up their sleeve for whatever reason. You could do that if you wanted to. If you wanted to block out all of your tours, you just leave it as 0 or leave it as blank. Yep. So if we go Save Changes, Or save. Done. Now if we go back to April, it's blocked out 3 of those instantly. So that's just bulk updating.
Cool.
Again, so that's the reservations calendar section. It's pretty straightforward. They have the reports section there that they can pull different reports from as well. This being a test console, it's not going to have any data in there, so we can't show you exactly what that looks like. But you can hover over. It's just got monthly booking totals, booking summary, and any extras that they may sell. Accounts, so they can see all the payments made. They can see a payment reconciliation and any bookings made by the visitor centre. So they just choose that, and they can jump in and they can use the reservation search, so they can show all the data. They can clear and just show everything. They can go, okay, well, show me all my bookings that Whitsundays have given me for March, that are booked in March, and they can run it that way and save if they wish. They've also got help and support, which is they can log a support request. So log them into the support center. They'll need to create a login, so they register. They just put in their username and password, and then basically that will go through to the support team to assist that way. And they've got the view help documentation link as well for your tour operators, which will walk them through explaining the help documentation, as well as what we'll be doing at the end of next week is providing Whitsundays with operator training guides that you can send out for a room operator. Usually we don't like to provide training guides because of customizations to the system, and if the look changes, it gets out of date. However, starting out, I think it would be very beneficial to provide that to Whitsundays. Jumping back to our main menu. So that is just the tour operator console that we've been through. So we went through how to set up tours, managing availability, setting up the different booking questions, setting up rate types, been through all the reservations and everything like that. So do you have any questions about the tour side of the setup from what you've seen? Obviously knowing you're going to have more questions the more you go through, but off the top of your head, anything you would like me to cover again?
No, nothing major here, mate. Just, I guess, for tour operators already active through various channel managers, they're going to basically load in when we switch the system on. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
with the tour operators, I believe there's only channel management for tour operators is a relatively new thing. So we're meeting with Jewel and I think Pro Charter next week in Sydney to discuss their integration. So any operators using those systems will be able to push tours through to us once that integration is complete.
Okay, great.
So the next option what we're gonna do next is set up an accommodation operator. So Daryl, you just ran the controls over there. Who wants the controls to set up a new operator now? Or do you want to stay with Daryl?
I'll give him a break, I'll do it.
Okay. Who was that?
Oh, sorry, that was Mercedes.
Mercedes, no worries. All right, cool. So whether we want to create a new operator or use a already existing one is up to you. If you want to add a new operator at the bottom, we'll just go through and set one up, again, a test one from scratch. So we need to do an AIM search again when creating new operators from a visitor center level. Alright, so there's already a test one, it looks like, set up. But what we'll do is we'll add a new operator because that looks like it's been deleted. So if we hit the add new operator, just the black text above your list there. Okay, so let's go through and set up the information. So again, we have surname, first name, so we're going to do an accommodation operator for this one, but you can call it Mercedes Tours. Yep. So again, reservations email. Then you've got the manager's email, which will get a copy of all the reservations. So that again can be used maybe for a visitor center if you want to know of all online bookings that are being made. You have an email account, you could enter that in there. Accounts email, where all your financials and invoices from the system will be sent to. If the manager and accounts email are left blank, everything will be directed to that main email address. Website address, phone numbers. So you've got the postal addresses and everything like that. So then we've got the main business location. So we need to go street number, street name, suburb, comma, state, postcode. It says country, but you don't need to do country. Cool. Refresh map. That will load the map with the pointer there. And again, if an operator, the pointer's not on, they can enter in the latitude and longitude below manually into there and press save, and that will touch the map up to their exact lat longs. Operator type now, we're going to go choose accommodation.
Can we add new operator and tour types to this list?
Yes, definitely. So that's going to be done under when we go through the admin training of the console. So they're just the default ones that we've got created. You can add, I think there's about 30 different types as a default that you can set up, and you can change the name to reflect whatever you need. So your grouping, so that's your accommodation grouping types. So again, an operator can only be set to 2. Settings, again, this is just default settings. This used to be used more so for older type searches that BookEasy used to have. It's not so much used anymore. The way the online accommodation industry has gone, it's more so based on images and descriptions and the price of the rate more than anything. They can set up to 4 locations. So again, this is a good little option to do for you as a centre, is to create a booking location that you've got called like Whitsundays or what have you. So you've got the main location, because people might not necessarily know Cannon Vale. They might just want to know they want to come up to the area. They might not necessarily know what individual suburbs are. So it's always good to have those main sort of areas that people know. If they're close, then you can set it as that. Business groupings, again, not going to use. That's more so for older types. Username, so we just need to create a username for the operator and set a password as well. Perfect. Open now is done. Map reference you can set. Membership we don't need to worry about. Point of difference again, that paragraph that is going to capture attention, or a brief description. So you don't want any more than really a paragraph in this particular section here. Business description, that's where you'll go in and you'll set all of the information about the property in there, really selling it to the consumer. Directions from your nearest town. Yep, perfect. Hot deal and description. So again, just a free text field, might not even display on the website if your web developers aren't looking at integrating that option in the operator pages. Internalize only will only display to visitor center staff when they're logged in. And for itinerary only, any notes input into there will display on the email once it has been fully paid. It will not display unless it is fully paid, the reservation. And then you've just got the operator bank details so you can save. Awesome. Now we have the update of the details section. This is just the admin for the centres. So if the operator is current or not, don't show on website. Any membership levels and information that you may have. If it has a hot deal, then it's got banner information, which isn't important as you're using the gadgets and having your website built by a third-party developer. That information will not be included anywhere for your operators. Gold medal, or if they're confirmed today. So confirmed today as well just means they're always instant confirmation, which your accommodation operators, if using a channel manager, need to be. They have to be gold medal. Managed by email, again, just another email address that you can set. If they request SMS for bookings, commission percentage, so that's the commission percentage agreements that you're going to be charging per booking, and the deposit percentage that will be paid. Then you've just got the map reference again, which isn't really used anymore. However, then we've got, all this information. So turn on guest details on email, turn off the operator details, and then you can turn off all these different types of emails there. And you can save. Fantastic. So you've just created another operator here, another test operator. So if you just do a search now for them, we can log in. So under the action column for the visitor centres, you can simply hit log in there. Okay. Now this is the old console. So what I want you to do is go to that room operator upgrade. And you can just hit upgrade now. And it's just going to do it automatically. So then you would probably do this for your older, for the old operators Mercedes that was set up. You would just need to upgrade them to the new console. Or we can do it manually for you. So start using room operator. Alright, so and this is the console here. So again, what I would be directing all of our operators to do is just going through the setup tab first. And just hovering over and going through each individual field. So business details we did in the setup. However, your operators are going to have to go in there and they're going to have to set up their business options and all that information unless they send it to you and you set it up when you create the consoles. And again, this might not necessarily be the way that this is done, as we may be pulling, you may be pulling info from ATDW into your website and just inserting the gadgets. So we would need Whitsundays, we'll just confirm that after our training and once we've spoken to Gorilla some more to find out how far away they are and what they've managed to achieve with that. Cool. So you've just got all the information here. You've got localities as well. So it will just use the time setting you are where you've gone and set it up. They can also set up local taxes if they want. So they just call it what they want and the actual amount there. So that's used more so for our international guests or international users. So once you're happy with all that information and they've gone through and updated, they simply hit save down the bottom and they'll need to enter in their cancellation policy as well.
So is that the same as their terms and conditions? That's where they've got to put everything?
Yeah, exactly right, yeah. Just so they're covered for any cancellations. Cool. And then once you're happy, just save down the bottom. All right, let's go back to the setup. And we're going to go to property details now. So this is information based on the property. So you've got further information, tariffs range from. So this is information that can be displayed on an operator web page. So their prices range from this to this. Again, we've got tourism accreditation, AAA ratings. So the AAA rating is the official star rating system in Australia. So if they have a AAA rating, they simply put in the, they click the drop-down box and choose their star rating number. And then they have to put in their record number. If the record number isn't filled out, they would be self-rated. So if that just left blank, it would be 3.5 star self-rated. Or if they put in a record number, it will basically show like an official star rating on the website. Now, this doesn't verify that it's official AAA record numbers. So in the past, what some operators have done is they've just put in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the AAA record number. And then they just say that they're officially star rated when they're not. AAA actually have a team that go through websites in Australia that are looking constantly for that information. So you may get a call. I've had about 2 in my whole 6 years working here saying, can you turn these 2 operators off, as they're not officially AAA rated. So they do check. It's more so they don't really do anything. They just ask you to remove it to be self-rated. Tick this box if all of your rooms do not take children. And tick this box if all of your rooms do not take infants. So if that's selected, no one will be able to book a child or an infant for your accommodation. Number of rooms units is more based showcasing the operator size, and then you can put in a description. So what they are they chalets? Are they villas? Is it a private holiday house? Are they units? So you just put it in there. Arrival and departure time. So again, 24-hour time. So 1400 is normally the arrival. And then again, the cancellation policy. So it's in about 3 or 4 places, really, so the operator knows that they need to input it, as it is one of the most important things with online bookings to set. Now, what I would be advising operators to do as well you can always set a harsh booking condition, like a cancellation policy, so they don't allow refunds or what have you. They can then be lenient on it, but you can't go the other way around. You can't try get, more out of a guest that cancels because they've cancelled in your busiest time when all you said is, well, all I can do is charge one night, for example. So that needs to be thought about by operators as how they're going to word that. So it's harsh, and that's what the user at the end of the day accepts to when making a booking. But then again, it can be used on a case-by-case basis if they like. The last option there is the facility. So this is just highlighting the facilities of the property itself. So you just tick which facilities they have on. And that's as a property as a whole. You can set the room facilities when we create the rooms. But you just go through and you can set them all up there and save. Now that facilities list is controlled by the mothership booking center, so in this case Whitsundays, and you can add and take off and change all of those facilities for your operators. Setup again. And we're going to go, what we might do is we'll come back to rooms and rates last because that's going to be the biggest one that we go through. Again, cancellation policies in there is another option, so you don't need to go into that. It's just going to be the exact same fields as we've seen twice already. Just highlighting the importance. Upload pictures / images, so if we click into that, it's exactly the same as what we saw in the tour operator console a moment ago. So they just choose the file, find the images on their computer, double click which one they want, or they can click open, and then save, and then that will upload. Done. So at the bottom there, the other, so they can choose to upload. Now with BookEasy at the center level, you have a media viewer, so that would be those operators are uploading images into your media viewer. You can do that if you like, however it's not really used too much by many operators. They normally just set the images for their property or tours, and then they're done, really. So you didn't choose a file, you just hit save down the bottom there. So you can, underneath other, choose file, and then again the same thing, you just choose file. Yeah. And then save. So that won't, it'll just say your image was uploaded at the top, and that's going to display in your media viewer in the centers console. It's not going to display anywhere in the operator console. So back to setup. So again, staff logons, they can create their individual staff logons if they like. They've got state holidays. So the holidays are set by the centres. You can set up your different holidays. So if you click on that, you should see a list in there. So they can, it looks like they can create their own holidays now, so that's even better. So add a new state holiday. And they can basically just put in the dates, the name of it, and whether it applies to all states or Queensland or what have you. So that's just a list that the operator can use if they're logging into BookEasy every day. So they need to know those time periods. Now at the top, you're seeing, so you've got, see there, you've got Queensland State, because you just added that particular one for New South Wales, but it defaults to Queensland. So if you choose New South Wales and perform search, There's that day off work one that you just did. So hovering over setup again, they've got the booking questions option. So again, exactly the same as our tour one. So add a new set of booking questions. We'll come back to that last, as we'll just recover how to add link product and everything like that. So any questions about those basic defaults so far, or the basic setup questions? Nothing as of yet?
No, none from me.
Cool. Fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to go rooms and rates now, and this is where operators will go to create their rooms and rates. So we've got add a new room on the left there. And all they do is they go through and they fill it out. So room type. So if it's a holiday house with 5 bedrooms, they would just call it holiday house or something like that. Or you've got spa rooms, or you've got, all the different types of room names. They just set them there. There's no standard you have to follow this particular format. You can call it whatever you want. It's your property. How many rooms do you have? 22. Now, if you click off that, you're going to get a list of 22 room names that the operator has to load. Now, why that is because they have a calendar in the console. So they would go, okay, well, I've got spa room 22, and that's going to have individual room numbers that they can set. So, yeah, well, let's change it back to 2. So it might be room 115 or something like that. And then, the same for that. It just allows them to see if they were to upgrade to room manager, the basic property management system. They would be able to assign guests to those individual rooms. The guests will still just book a spa room, but the operator would be able to assign it to those individual room types. Next is the room configuration. So again, this is set by the controlling mothership booking center, in this case with Sundays. And you choose which one best applies. If that doesn't apply to you, you can give Whitsundays a call, and we'll be covering this in our admin session, how you add that, how you add different room configurations. Booking deadline. So again, like we said before, must be made so many days before arrival. Haven't seen this used too much. I've got a call once or twice on support with people going, I can't book this room. Why? And it's for that exact reason. When they're going through creating it, they just click on that and there's 10 days. So they're trying to book it for tomorrow and they can't. It's because it has to be booked 10 days before arrival. Link availability we'll come back to because we're going to have to set up another room for that. Maximum number of guests. So you can set a maximum amount in BookEasy. Most websites you can set a maximum guest is fine. I'll get into the maximum nights that you can do, which is this one. Normally with the websites, with other websites, you can only set a minimum number of stays, if you like. Operators in BookEasy can set a maximum number of days that a guest can book. So if they only want a guest to book 5 nights, they could just set 5 nights. If it didn't bother them how long they booked, they'd just leave that field blank. Description, that's your room description field.
So what happens if someone does have a minimum night stay?
Yep, so they just leave that field blank. And then the minimum night stay is actually set when we create the rates. So when we create the rates, it asks you what the minimum night stay is. Bedding configuration, so you can set different bedding configuration options if you like. So if you click add a new bedding configuration, You can go, okay, well, I have one double bed, just so that the guest sort of knows what they're getting. You can choose the different types. So if you click the drop-down box, you've got those different options there that you can choose from. If one doesn't match, you can simply type over the bedding description field. So you just take that text out and type over, and the guest will see that. Yep, so that's setting an additional $10.20 per night. Usually, I mean, they wouldn't really set anything, and you have to set it as a default. So that's your default one. What you can do is you can set up multiple. So you could go, okay, give them another choice and go add a new bedding configuration again. You can say, well, you can have a double bed if you like. So this is the additional cost per night. So there you go, yep. And then that's not a default. So when the guest is checking out, they can go, okay, well, I want this particular one that's going to use that additional cost per night. Usually most operators, they don't move bedding around all that much, but it'll be good to have for like rollaway beds, adding them. That's how you can add extras and stuff like that as well. To remove, you just click the remove buttons on the right hand side, and that will get rid of them both. Which type of rates you're going to use? It defaults to daily, and we're only going to use daily rates. I'm not going to cover seasonal rates. It's a legacy product that we eventually in Bookeasy are going to be getting rid of. It's just we've just been around for 10 years now, so there's a lot of operators still on it, and making the change could be detrimental to the way they operate their consoles. So for all new operators and all of your operators, we'll be forcing the daily rates option, which is it's simple to use. It's channel managers can update it, and it's just very user friendly. So number of guests included in the daily rates. So this is normally 2. So you've set a maximum number of guests as 2 at the top there. So if we change that to 4. Perfect. And we go down, and then you've got the default rate. So this is the rack rate for the room. So the per night rack rate too. Nightly extra charge per adult. And then nightly extra charge per child. So again, the child rate is, I think it's to 12 years. 0 to 12 years, 2 to 12 years, sorry. It says down the bottom, 2 options below where we are. If you then wanted to set your own child rates, you would use that in conjunction with the booking questions, like we did before. This will only apply to gold medal operators to be included in the last minute deal. On your website, you can force a parameter to show on the gadgets people with last-minute deals ticked, so they can be included on that search there should you wish to use it. Now we've got these settings per room. So do not allow infants per room. Do not allow children per room. So before we had that option underneath property details, which was as a property as a whole, but this is rooms, individual rooms that you can set this on. You also have a bond add-on activated for Whitsundays, where a operator can choose a bond to have a bond. Now this is charged 35 days out before arrival. And it's a refundable bond amount, obviously. So if you click yes to that, it will just ask you for the bond amount. And if booking within the 35-day period, it's going to ask for that bond money. Outside of that, it will just ask them for the deposit, whatever your deposit you've got set up is. And then an email will go out to the guest 35 days before arrival requesting that the bond payment be made. Alternatively, that's normally done on check-in for most hotels. You know, when you check into a hotel nowadays, they need a credit card and they might charge an amount to it. And then when you check out, they'll reverse that charge. And then campaign information, like what we covered underneath the tours section, you can choose if this room is only bookable by campaign. So if you tick that, it's not going to be available on your normal accommodation searches. Or if you untick it and say, I want this room to be included in all campaigns, the option is there for Whitsundays Marketing to go through and select you to be in the campaigns that they run. And save changes. So you just need to put something in there for the child, so just put a 0 in there. You're just going to have to click OK at the top. Yep. So just put a 0 in that field, or save changes. Perfect. So that's the room created. I'll just get you to quickly create a new room as well, just with whatever data in there, just as quick as you can, because I want to explain the linked rooms functionality. So we'll come back to that. We just need to create the rooms first. So if you untick that link availability at the top there. So it's the third tick box down. Yep. So if you untick that, we just set a maximum number of guests, so whether it's 2, we'll leave maximum days field blank, we'll leave description blank, we'll leave the bedding configuration, just set number of guests included in the daily rates as 2. Default rate, just do 100 or what have you. Nightly extra charge per adult, you can go 0 and 0 for child. And save changes. Done. So now we're going to click into our room. And we're going to use the linked availability function. So basically what this says is, do you want to use availability from other rooms? So if we click that, and give us an option. On the left-hand side, it gives us a little bit of a insight into what it does. So the following room names will have their availability changed by the quantity specified each time this room's availability changes. So on the right-hand side of that, we have add an existing room. So just below where the mouse is, you can click add an existing room. So what we're saying, we're in the balcony room. So we're going to say if one balcony room is booked, block out one spa room. So they're using shared availability. You could say if one balcony room is booked, block out all of my spa rooms by changing that quantity. So you could say, block out all of my spa rooms. What that would be used for is a 2-bedroom, which they sell as 2 1-bedrooms with an interconnecting door. They would simply go, okay, well, I've got 2 1-bedrooms and 1 2-bedroom. So when a 2-bedroom's booked, I want to block out my 1-bedrooms. And when a 1-bedroom is booked, I want to block out my 2-bedrooms. Now, you can just say 1 or 2. You don't even have to use this if you don't need. The tick box below where you're choosing your room types is basically if availability is manually adjusted all linked rooms are adjusted accordingly. So if the user's going through updating the availability calendar, it just means that those updates are going to flow through. So that's ticked as a default, as it should always be the case. And then once you're happy with the layout of the linked availability, so what we're saying, looking at this again, if one balcony room is booked, I want to block out 2 of my spa rooms. That's what those drop downs are saying there. Go down and hit save. And then what you need to do, it will show you the availability links that you've got on the right hand side there. You just need to do the same for the spa room. So you need to go, when a spa room's booked, block out the balcony room. Or you don't necessarily have to have that if you don't want to. But yeah, most of the times if you're linking 2 rooms together, you need to do it on both. Yep. And save changes. So that's the availability links. That can be used as in-depth or not used at all, depending on the operator's setup. So that might be a case of just on a case-by-case basis for each operator, discussing how their rooms are managed. And you may need to even call support just to double-check on how you think some rooms might need to be set up. Next option there we have available is edit daily rates. And this is where we go to create rates for the actual room types that we've set up. So they're the seasonal rates options, which we don't need to worry about. But just on the right hand side of the room name, you'll see the rates column, and you've got the edit daily rates section. So edit daily rates there. So currently all it displays is the days of the month. There's no rates or anything, but we need to create the rates themselves. So all we do is go add a night rate at the top, and it asks you for your minimum night stay. So if I have a minimum of 2 nights, I just drop a 2 in there. So put 2, and then you can put the rack rate that's charged, and create rate, and that will create a 2-night minimum across that room for forever, basically. And this screen's just displaying. I'm on a really large monitor here, so it's thrown out. Now what you can do is you can go, okay, well, it's $100 a night with a 2-night minimum as my property for this particular room. I'm going to add another rate. So if you go add rate Mercedes, and you choose 3 nights, like a 3-night minimum. And you might say, well, if someone books 3 nights, the rate might only be $90 a night. And create rate. So you can go all the way through up to however many nights that people book, going through and setting that option up. And they're what we call rate lines. So you've got a 2-night rate line and a 3-night rate line. Over on the right hand side, it's just created, you've got the rates per day. So if you wanted to change the rates for an individual day, let's say Friday the 28th, click on the 2-night rate line, and you'll get the calendar pop up, and you just put in the new rate. So let's say, oh, well, for this Friday night, I've got 1 room left, town's packed. You could put it up, or you might put it down, you just want to get rid of it. You can save, just hit save rates. Done. And then that's changed. So your night now will be 95 on the website. If you choose from March the 1st, so if you click on the 1st of March, you can go from the 1st of March to the end of March if you wanted to, so to the 31st. And you might go, well, I want it to be whatever rate for the whole month. And then that's changed. So then that changes instantly. So now if someone books 2 nights, it's going to use the $120 a night. What you can do as well, Mercedes, if you click on the 1st of March again, you can go from the 1st of March to the end of March. And let's say set 200 in the new rate field. You can untick the days that you don't want to update. So let's say you didn't want to update Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you just wanted it to be 200 on those particular dates. You can just untick the dates and hit Save Rates. And there you can see on the Monday it's now 200. Friday and Saturday it's all 200 there. Now, throwing a question out to you, if I was to book 5 nights, what would the rate be per night? Anyone want to take a guess?
Whatever the daily rates are.
Yeah.
Per day.
Yeah, so it just uses the one that's available. So it's going to use the 3-night rate to book 5 nights. So, and if someone went to book 1 night, you've only got a 2-night rate line. So that's how it enforces the minimum night stay. So it only starts from 2 nights. You can only be booked for 2 nights. Then 3 nights, it's going to use that $90 plus per night. Now, some channel managers, they can only read 1 rate line per room. I know Res Online, off the top of my head, they can pick up these rate lines. So you can just have the 1 room set up and set up multiple rate lines. But for, off the top of my head as well, SiteMinder, for example, I believe they can only view 1 rate line per room. So they would need the operator to create, say, a spa room 2-night and a spa room 3-night. And then as individual room types. And then they would just have, for the spa room 2-night, they would just have 1 2-night rate line. And then for the spa room 3-night room type, they would have just the 1 rate line of 3 nights. So some channel managers do need to be created in that way. I don't know the ones off the top of my head which all operate like that, but the operator will most likely know what they need to do. Now the stop cells. Stop cells are a little green tick. So does anyone want to take a guess as to what the stop cell function is, as opposed to blocking out availability?
It's stop selling up after you've sold a certain number of rooms.
Yeah, not so much number of rooms, but more so on BookEasy, it's the rate line. So if I, for my balcony room, if I want to enforce a 3-night minimum just over March, I've got my 2-night rate line available and I've got a 3-night. But because my 2-night rate line's available, anyone can book that. So if I wanted to enforce a 3-night, what I do is simply click the little green tick below the rate on that rate line, and then you'd go from date to date. So I'm going to go from 1st of March until the end of March. Now we untick the days before, so we just need to tick those days back on. And I'm just going to hit disable dates. Done. So now it's got little red crosses, and that's now enforcing a 3-night minimum because that's the next rate line that is available for that time period. That differs from availability. If I was to block out my availability to 0, it would block out all of the rate lines attached to that room, whereas a stop cell is just those individual rate lines that you set up. On the far right hand side there, the very far right hand side, you've got an LM percentage. So in the room setup, remember it asked us if we wanted to be the room to be included in a last minute special. If you're setting that up, you can simply click on the amount here, and then it's going to go add a new last minute discount. So if you put in, okay, well, I want a 10% discount, the last minute period is for 28 days. So if we go, I want a discount of 10%, so if you type a 10 in that top box there, Mercedes, it's going to say, well, the standard rate being used that's available is $90. What it's going to be sold at is $81. And you go, okay, yep, happy with that, change. Now what that does is it doesn't actually change the rates from here. It will just change it in the booking process itself. If someone goes through that last minute percentage discount search. But that's a good little features that operators can do as well. So do you want to have another go at just setting up just the rates for the spa room, just to make sure that you're all across it? So just change the room at the top, add rate, put in your minimum number of nights. Done. And you can keep adding minimum night stays if you like with different costs. Now if there's a 1 night minimum that you have only, you just simply go add rate and you put a 1 night minimum in there. That's it. Perfect. So if we're happy to move on, we'll just go back, we'll hover over the reservations calendar and we'll go to the availability. If not, you can go play around with the stop sells some more, change the rates, just to get comfortable with it. So changing rates, you just click the days, set your calendar dates. Perfect. Now if you wanted to update, let's say December, top left hand corner you can jump to December if you like, or what I do whenever I need to update rates or anything like that, all I simply do is click on, say, like the 1st of March, for example, for the 5-night stay, and I just change my from date to like the 1st of December till the end. Yeah. And you can do your from date, you know, from that certain time, or you could go from the 1st of March until December and create those rates. If you just hit save rates, it's going to go through and update all those days over that entire time period. So you can see there that it's all changed. And if we skip now forward, let's just pick a random month, top left-hand corner, let's say October or something. You can see it's filtered through all the dates with that particular costing. And you can do the same with the stop sells as well. So the point of that is you don't have to jump forward to the forward date. You can just use the calendars and it'll just choose the from date and to date there. Yeah, it's just going to sit there spinning because there was no dates chosen. Like, because you didn't pick any dates, so it can't actually update anything. There you go. Okay, so if you're happy to move on, we'll go just cover the availability again. So to get to the availability, you can either jump back to the main menu at the top left-hand corner, or you can hover over reservations calendar and go to availability. So you just go to click availability there next to the distribution. Just there. So if you click that, so now we've got our 2 rooms listed, and these have linked availability. So if you were to block out that balcony room, so using the closeout line again, so you want to close out how many rooms you're closing out basically. So if you're just blocking out one room, you just put a 1 in there. Yeah, and you can just tab across and all highlight, and so you can go tab 1, tab 1, tab 1, tab 1. So, yeah. And now if you save changes, it's automatically blocked out of that spa room because that's how we set up our linked availability. So when one balcony room was blocked, we set a linked availability to block out all of the spa rooms. And vice versa. So you can go in and you can block out the spa room, which should block out the balcony room. So again, any bookings that come in will drop into the bookings line. And then, yeah, so, I mean, if they're using one room at a time, it's pretty straightforward. It's when, you got 40 different rooms and you've got 3 bookings in there, and then it will, display 37 in the availability line and everything like that. But it's just important to remember, you just enter the number you wish to close out, and the bookings and available will update themselves. Hovering over the reservations calendar at the top. Again, they can search contacts, they can add new contacts, or they can block and unblock a entire date range. So if you click that, you can block out the rooms. So if you go from this date to this date, there you go, room. They can choose individual rooms, or they can go all rooms at a time. So you're saying, I want to block out one room, or you can just leave it as 0 and it'll block out everything. So if it had 20 rooms, it'll block out 20, leaving it at 0. So you hit save, and it'll take us to our availability calendar, and then it's blocked out until the 22nd, and because of the linked rooms, it's blocked the other room out as well. So it's all done automatically or quickly and pretty user-friendly. Again, this console has a reports tab that you can hover over. So at the top, if you go over to reports, again, nothing being in here as it's a test operator that we've just set up. You can view monthly booking and booking summaries and extra summaries, so there's a bit of reporting in there that you can see, as well as the booking center functions. If you go into booking center functions, they've got the online booking control, so where they can set to be a part of the BookEasy Booking Center network, They can view the awards and events information, view changes on website, which will take them to an old website look, not your new site. So we're currently working on to get rid of that for all of our gadget users. And then you've got the meeting minutes. That's just information that comes from the centre. And then the last option we have is the online distribution, which was covered. So this is inbuilt in, got Res Online inbuilt into it. So Res Online is a channel manager. So if the operator wasn't comfortable on getting online, you could say, well, we can provide a service that you can have an inbuilt channel manager on your BookEasy console. And they just click online distribution and follow the steps. There is a monthly fee if they choose to connect a certain amount of channels. But again, all that's done in the setup and it's all agreed to and everything. So the option is there should they choose to. If not, that's fine too. They can use it manually or they can use one of the other channel managers that connects to BookEasy.
No,
And I mean, that's basically it for the room operator console. It's pretty straightforward, I feel. Is there anything you need to cover, anything else you wish to cover or have any questions about regarding accommodation operators setting up their console?
Not from
No?
me.
All good?
All good so far? Fantastic. The questions will come when you start setting up all the operators, I'm sure of it. So last but not least, we need to set up an events operator. So I'm going to log out of this particular console and I'm going to just log in. And I'm going to set up just a quick event operator for us. The events are really straightforward to set up. You set up the event as an operator. So, don't know what that means. I've seen that before. Excuse that. So, the operator, you set up the event as the operator itself. For example, Broome Visitor Information Centre, they sold tickets for Opera Under the Stars. So they set the event up as the operator, so they had the description describing the event and everything like that. Then inside of the BookEasy console where you list your events, the bookable tickets, they set the ticket type as the event. So I'll quickly go and set one up. So you can go through, you can set up. I'm just going to use very basic information. Now the operator type we set as an events operator. Then we've got the point of difference. So again, the operator can go in and set up the events. I'm not going to cover the point of difference in business descriptions again. We've been through it twice for tours. It's all exactly the same, just information regarding the operator as well as the bank details. Okay, so we're going to log in now to the operator console. So the event operators currently, they don't have an upgraded console as of yet. So this is the old BookEasy console. We're currently working on designing an events console. Currently, you've only got the upgraded accommodation and tours. So this is the old console, how they used to look like. Some operators may have this option. They're going to have the option to upgrade to tour operator or room operator at the top here, which is what every single operator should do. If not, everything we saw is under accommodation under this section here for your accommodation operators. Tours is under this section, and the general details are under here. It's just a grid look. But what we're going to focus on now are setting up our event tickets. So Mercedes, you've still got control. So I'll just get you to continue on. We're going to go list events on the right-hand side there. So as I mentioned, you set the event operator up, like the event up as an operator, the event as a type, and then you set under where it's got add event, you put the ticket types in. So this is bookable events. So its current number of places, the price per adult, child, family, concession, or students. Then you have to tick on that, yep, definitely want these. Start date and end date of the event. Perfect. You can say again, no children or no infants if you like. The start and end times are 24 hour. So 0900. So you can put in an event description, so that's just the ticket description in there. Okay, and then we've got the handling fee. So this is like a booking fee essentially, and it's only available if you've got it, so you've got it obviously. So you tick it on and you might say, okay, the event handling fee. Example, Beechworth, they sell some Ned Kelly event thing, and their event handling fee for every ticket was $2.50. So you might say, okay, it's $5, and that's just a $5 booking fee essentially that gets charged to the guest. And then you've got the same campaign information that we've seen as setting up tours and setting up events. This is only bookable by conference guests, and you might say, okay, it's bookable on all conferences, but they can't book otherwise. If you want it available just on their normal operate pages, or you just untick that is this bookable for campaigns only, and you'd say campaigns able to book this event, so all campaigns that have the choice. Again, with Sundays, you have the final say on what product gets linked to campaigns. Once you're happy, you just hit Save Changes, and that's creating the event, and then basically that operator will flow through to your website with an event gadget where they can choose to show the events and book events online. So events are really simple to get set up. They've got very basic information, but event tickets are pretty straightforward unless you're trying to sell barcoded tickets, and everything like that is where it can get a bit tricky. But this is more so for basic sort of events that you're selling tickets for. So does that sound like something you would definitely use?
Yeah, it is. I've got a question whether you can actually set up something with, say, 5 different accommodation houses where you could sell a room and a ticket, or a room and tickets. Is that more of a campaign approach, is it?
Not a campaign, it's a package approach. Yeah, so a package is done by the centre, but it can definitely be done.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and we'll cover that in our other trainings later on in next week, or earlier on next week, I should say. So we can cover all of that information. And then on the website, you basically put in a package ID. Your developers would put in a package ID for that particular link, and it'll display the packages that you build. But this is more so for individual events being sold. Jumping back to our menus, again, you can set up various things such as car hire. I'll just quickly scoot over these. There's not too much, they're not too difficult to set up. You basically list the cars for hire. They can add a car, it's just the car name, the number of cars of this type, so availability, the car capacity, and the pricing. So they can set pricing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can set no. That's just very basic hire that people can set up with its own availability. Hire items. This can be used in conjunction with accommodation. So, you might hire out, if a place has a tennis court, they might hire out rackets, for example. So they simply add their hire items, put in a name, a number, and then they can put in their costings with a description. So again, very basic information in there available. If they have a restaurant on site, they can choose facilities if they wish. If you have any wineries, they can set in information like there. And then conference, this is a legacy product that's no longer in use and has been taken out of the new consoles. So that's it for the BookEasy member console. We've been through tours, we've been through accommodation, we've been through events. Skipped over car hire and everything like that. It's pretty basic information. So is there anything else that you wanted me to go back over or weren't too sure of?
I'm okay. Everyone else okay?
Yeah, I'm okay as well.
Okay, fantastic. So what I would suggest you guys do, now what I will do, follow up probably to Joe, I'll follow you and then you can send this out to the team, is I will send you each your logons. So I might just create just a generic logon that everyone can use to log in to the to your actual console itself. I'll also send you a log on to the BookEasy test console that you can log in and you can do whatever you want in there. You can try break it, doesn't matter. It's just got dummy data in there. Nothing's live. No one can make bookings in there. Like if you set up operators, you can just go hell for leather in that console. I'll send through and you can start, set up different operator types and everything. But I would suggest that everyone go in and set up an operator today, like we've done, just a test operator, just so you can know you can log in and play around with one whenever you need, or whether or not you start setting up real operators. Going in your operator search, going perform search, going through the list and just logging in and just checking all of the operators that you have, maybe upgrading them, checking who has rooms and availability, and that sort of thing to start making your plan in contacting these operators to get into load rates and availability and starting that whole process moving.
Sounds good.
So I'll send through that information, after the training. But if no one has any further questions, we can leave it here for today. And I believe our next training is on Monday or Tuesday, which we'll be covering the internals of the BookEasy Staff Console.
Yep, Tuesday.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
No worries. Well, if you have any questions,
Thank
feel free to give me a call. I think Joe has mine and Tony's details. You can give our support guys a call at any time. I'll give you their number. It's 07 5668 2530. So 07 5668 2530. And you can give them a call if you're doing something in maybe a member console that you're not too sure of and you're a bit stuck. Feel free to give them a call, as well as we've got the knowledge base top right-hand corner of your staff console that you can click, and that's like the online help for you guys.
Okay, thanks very much.
No worries. Well, I'll leave it here, and if you have any questions, as I said, feel free to give me a call.
All right.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.